Hello everyone, it's Jabari here. The idea of an enormous sword has excited the imagination of many history and fantasy fanatics alike throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. The Buster Sword, wielded by Cloud in the Final Fantasy series, being among the most popular example. Outside of the realms of myth, legend, and fantasy, however, the closest analogy that we usually see is the Scottish Claymore or Great Sword, which regularly exceeded 6 feet in length and was wielded with 2 hands. However, did you know that there were actually bigger, heavier blades than these forged throughout history? And if that's surprising to you, you'll be even more surprised by their purpose. Throughout African history, the production of iron and steel was always a highly important industry for both spiritual as well as economic reasons. Bantu communities in particular played a pivotal role in the production and dissemination and subsequent advancement of iron technology throughout the African continent, and created a wide plethora of production methods and techniques that would be crucial to the economy and productivity of the bulk of sub-Saharan Africa. Iron production was so significant and important that a common trend developed throughout both West African and Bantu communities alike: the tendency of using iron implements as currency itself. This tradition was so prevalent that the word iron loosely translates to a thing of value in various Bantu languages. The Kisi Penny, despite not being of Bantu origin, is among one of the most well-known of these, which consisted of twisted strands of iron that could be used to purchase goods, while also being used as a form of iron ingot that could later be melted down and reforged into weapons or tools if need be. Its namesake comes from the Kisi people, who are indigenous to what are now the countries of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. This economic system remained in use well into the middle of the 20th century, when it gradually began to be traded directly for coinage that was minted by the colonial European powers. In the early part of the century, a cow could be reportedly purchased for 30 to 40 bundles of Kisi pennies, in which each bundle consisted of around 20 Kisi pennies. These bundles were the common trend for all large purchases. The use of iron as currency throughout sub-Saharan Africa also consisted of the use of iron tools and blades, a practice which is collectively known as African hoe money or African iron currency. These objects could take the shapes of spades, hearts, teardrops, and knives, among many others, and was so well integrated into the currency systems of these regions that the shapes tended to overlap and even mismatch their intended purpose, since they were primarily used as money or ingots rather than utilitarian objects. A heart-shaped knife, for example, or spade-shaped hoe could be seen frequently. The Topoke people took this to an entirely new level. Their blacksmiths forged colossal blades taller than an adult man for use as currency. I'm not exactly sure what purchases they were used for, but I can imagine one of these could probably fetch you at least a few head of cattle or various luxury goods. While I was unable to find any information regarding the purpose of making iron into tools or weapons despite being used as currency or ingots, my theory is that it served a few purposes. The first one is to form a standardized shape, size, and weight similar to how modern coinage works. That way you know exactly what quantity of iron you are receiving in exchange for your goods. My second theory for the purpose is likely to guarantee the quality of the iron. In other words, iron forged into a blade or tool that doesn't crack or bend is physical proof to the seller of the quality of the iron, which isn't as apparent when it's forged into a bar or an ingot. This would be especially evident in the colossal blades manufactured by the Topoke people. Instead of a gold standard, many Bantu communities basically had an iron standard, if you will. Oh, and sorry fantasy nerds, but these blades were not used in combat and were not even sharpened. And as far as African iron currency goes, blades of this size were the exception and not the rule. A good example of a normal type of African hoe money would be the Nginza of the Mbugu of what is now the Central African Republic. As with the trend of all African hoe money, its form takes the size and shape of a weapon, or a tool, but in this particular example, a weapon, more specifically a throwing knife, comparable to the mambele. However, since it's used exclusively for currency, it has blunted edges, no hilt, and a clumsy, bulbous shape to it. In other words, it is totally useless as a weapon. Nevertheless, I find it very interesting to see this form of economic system develop independently among the people of Africa. This system, born right in the heart of Africa, differs significantly from our modern idea or concept of currency or monetary value in general. Typically here today, we look at something rare or precious as a type of currency, or something artificially created and unable to be reproduced very easily. Meanwhile, the African iron currency system clearly defines currency by the usefulness of the material rather than its rarity, as entire civilizations depend on iron for their very survival, a trend that is still true today in all parts of the world. This fact was then coupled with the ability of African blacksmiths to still make them into beautiful and unique objects that clearly demonstrated who their creators were, just as much as a gold or silver coin could ever accomplish. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if so, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more videos like these. For sources, check out my website, linked below. If you'd like to support future projects, you can do so there as well, or by clicking the join button below, or by becoming a patron. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as usual, and always remember, we don't come from nothing.